We're here at Namotu Island in Fiji, and we've got an amazing forecast for the next couple of days.
We wanted to experience the new Namotu boat as a charter experience. So we put our heads together, come up with a bit of a game plan.
We thought we'd load up our new purpose-built fishing and cruising boat, which is a 32-foot WorldCat centre console, with all our fishing gear and go and try a whole bunch of different fishing techniques.
I've been coming to Fiji for quite a while now, and every time I come here we kind of stay tight around Namotu and fish all that sort of area, but with the Cobalt we have the capability and range to reach them little islands that are a bit further away.
We thought we'd start out with some topwater fishing and really just enjoy cruising in the boat and the surrounding area here at Namotu Island.
We started to work a little bit of reef that I've actually never fished, and as we came around there was some deep water, a couple of bommies sitting there, and we could see some bait flickering on one of them, and I banged a cast in on the other side of the bommy, pulled it past and actually seen the bluefin trevally come out and smash the lure.
What have you got there, Sneaky?
Little bluefin trevally, nailed the stick bait.
Whew, nice fish too.
Nice way to start the morning, couple of casts on this little shallow bommy and bang, this little fella nailed the stick bait. How good are the colours, iridescent blue.
Bluefin trevally are one of the most common species that we get here on top water. They're purely a catch and release fish. They are amazing to eat, but we really try to preserve the areas around here so these ones always go back into the water. What's beautiful around these surrounding islands at Namotu are the super high cliffs over beautiful beaches with a bunch of palm trees, and the water clarity on top of that, it's just another world.
I was taken back by how beautiful it is. If you weren't a fisherman, to go down there and lounge around on some of them beaches or even stay in the Cobalt, have some beers, have some food, and in that area, it is amazing. So it was a bit of a new area down there. We thought we'd bang on some surface lures and just work some edges. We actually had quite a few follows and we didn't produce any big fish from that area, but you could see it had so much potential.
I think with any type of fishing you need to be really open-minded and just let the day dictate what style of fishing that you're going to do. And that's probably the best part about the Cobalt, because if you're trying one thing and it's not working, you can get between spots really quick, and so it just gives you more time fishing each day.
It doesn't matter if there's even a little bit of wind. It is just as smooth as ride. It's such a heavy boat and so big and wide that you feel safe and comfortable at any time.
I've fished a lot of boats in my life, and this boat is the best boat I've ever fished in.
Everything has its own little space. There's little cupboards for your lures, there's drawers for your tools, there's rigging spots to rig stuff, there's a massive live bait tank. You can get all the gaffs and stuff up under the gunnels. There's rod holders everywhere, so your rods are always out of your way. It's just, in my eyes, the perfect boat.
Not only is it an epic fishing boat, it's one of the best boats for cruising around the islands because it's spacious and comfortable and super safe. One of my favourite styles of fishing here at Namotu is jigging, and probably my most favourite species to catch is a dogtooth tuna, so we thought we'd give that a bit of a try.
We had a couple of really good hookups, but unfortunately they got us on the reef.
What's great about the jigging here is there's a lot of bycatch as well. We got some great iron jaw, jobfish, couple of coronation trout, and then the highlight for me was the Spanish mackerel. It was such a good fish and they're so much fun on the jig.
Not only was there sharks terrorising the fish from below, but to make it worse, I actually missed the first gaff shot. It bounced off the fish's jaw and the look on Ben's face was priceless.
Yes! I dropped down a jig mid-water, that was a good bait ball, and I produced this little guy. Super fun on the jig and they're just so fast. The Spanish mackerel that we get here in Fiji are probably one of the most prolific fish. They really hunt the reefs and it's one of the most common fish that we actually catch. For For us too, they're really incredible eating, so we tend to keep these fish. They're amazing sashimi and our guests love them. Yeah, we're really hard up against this reef edge. We can see the shallows on this side and we're digging in 200 metres of water. It's crazy. This is my first drop and I don't know what it is, but pretty stoked. It's a doggy. It's a dogtooth. This is just a puff, but these are one of the gnarliest fish in the ocean. This is exactly what we're here for. First drop, I'm gonna throw this little guy back. We thought we'd put the outriggers out, set a really good spread and see if we could try and get ourselves a marlin. In our spread, we were running a really nice variety of lures. The two short corners, we always run two really big marlin lures. There's nothing like a marlin coming in and smashing a short corner. And then we're running some divers.
You can catch, obviously, the really big marlin, but you've got a variety of other oceanic fish that hang out there. You get really good yellowfin tuna, mahi or dolphin fish. Also, you get the big wahoo that are travelling, migrating. You can get them out wide as well.
Although we didn't produce a marlin, we got such a good mahi, and they're probably one of the most common bycatches that you get here in the islands. So this thing came flying in at the boat, hit our long corner, and it was a really big mahi.
I think Ben was trying to get me back for me wrecking his gaff shot on his Spanish mackerel.
As I was pulling the fish up onto the gunnel, it fell off the gaff, and then it was just flopping around on the gunnel. There
was a 50-50 chance of it falling back in the water or back in the boat. Landed in the boat and it was just mayhem. The lure came flying out past my head. It was crazy. It was a bit of fun. Beautiful little mahi we got off the edge. We seen a heap of bait blowing up on the surface and these fellas were chasing around and this one turned around and hit our biggest lure actually. This fella's a nice little addition to the esky.
This morning we thought we'd start off with a bit of high-speed trolling for wahoo. We've got a great selection of lures. We're going to try and find where they are, and when we find them we get that first bite. We'll really try and work that area and see how we go. There's nothing like going super fast and having one of these speedsters just crash one of your lures. How fast the line comes off your reel and the noise it makes is truly insane.
The fish themselves, once you get into the boat, they're iridescent blue. They've got these big stripes that come up on them.
The colours and the stripes on these fish just light up so beautifully, and it's probably one of the most spectacular things that you'll ever see in the ocean. Yes! Yeah, that was sick. Oh, wow.
We went for a high-speed troll just as the sun came up and we knew these guys would be about, and sure enough this one hit us on shotgun and it was an epic little fly. It was a bit crazy at the side of the boat but we got him.
The GT fishing around here at Namotu is incredible, and we thought we'd save the best for last.
We knew the tides were going to be really good for topwater fishing, so we kind of planned our day around the sunset and the tides to fish the bommies and structures around the back of Namotu.
Just on sunset we came up to this bait ball and we knew that there was a GT around it. Dylan gave me first cast and I put it in the perfect position.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes! Good, G-Baby!
Yeah. Oh. It barely landed.
It must have been watching in the sky.
There was a really tight ball of bait fish. Casted my lure right on top of it, and literally as soon as my lure hit the water, the big GT just smashed it. I still don't have control of him yet. He's way bigger than what I can handle. Too much pressure on, so I just got to be patient at this point. The power of these things is insane. You feel every head kick. They're just the beasts of the ocean.
Oh, it's a good fish. Wow,
He's a really good fish. You can see right now I've just got a treble right in his gill. You have to be really careful with him here. This is the first time that we've done any type of GT fishing from the side of this boat, and the gunnels are super high. So I got the fish to the side of the boat and I felt like I'd won the battle. And then Dyllon was trying to reach down to tail it to bring it back in, but because his arms are so short, he couldn't actually reach the fish. And it kept going around in circles. He'd almost get it and miss it. And the whole time my heart was pumping because I felt like we were going to lose the fish at this point.
Ben's freaking out because the hooks are about to pull out its face. I had to get Micah, the captain, to hold my legs as I leant over to pick this really heavy GT up to get it over the side.
Yes!
Well done, Wilson.
Oh my God.
Good
This
fish.
thing is insane. Okay, look at this thing. Like, this thing literally launched out of the water as soon as my stick
Look how
bait.
easy that came out.
As soon as my stick bait hit the water, he was straight on it. He was just hooked. You can see the stick bait's just come out now, but they're just such an amazing fish. This one is in perfect condition. We're going to get him straight back in the water right now. But this is literally just right by Namotu Island. We've got some amazing bommies out here. When we got the fish in the boat, it truly felt like one of the best captures I've ever had, because of the first GT in this boat, but just the way it all went down, the whole cast, the fight, and then us kind of goofing around at the side of the boat trying to get it in. It was really a rewarding feeling. Oh, so stoked, such an amazing fish, and it's so good to be able to put them back like that. So happy days here at Namotu.
It's been an amazing trip, actually one of the best I think I've ever had over here. Just good mates on an amazing boat, catching great fish and living it up in paradise for 2 days. This charter option for this boat is next level.
We've fished in style, we've covered a lot of ground, and we've had a mad time doing it. It really was just an epic couple of days, just being out on the ocean and being disconnected for the rest of the world. And it's probably one of my best ever trips here on the islands.